So Shelly and I decided to take part in a tour of a secret slot canyon and horseshoe bend for the day. It's quite the adventure. Started out on this, not even gravel track, it's a sand track with some rocks and gorgeous views. Took about 20 minutes to get out there on this sandy, rocky road, but it was well worth the bumpy ride. We decided to go with Horseshoe Bend Tours for this trip. This video is not sponsored by them, but I do highly recommend them. They're a great group and have private access to a slot canyon in the Page area. And they limit the number in a group to about 20 people and only one group in the canyon at a time. And they gave us plenty of time to get the photographs that we wanted in there. Can't speak highly enough about Horseshoe Bend Tours. If you're ever in the Page area and you want to do a guided tour of a slot canyon, they're the group to go with. So for my first composition inside the slot canyon, after Jared gave us our little talk about the canyon, was this typical portrait orientation, elongating the canyon up. I just love the way the lines lead you deep into the canyon and how the light plays off the walls. We picked the right time to go, that's for sure. So for my next composition at the slot canyon, instead of going tall, I went wide because I got into this area where the canyon opened up, and I just love the way the lines all flowed together from the rock formations right in front of me, and how the striations still led you back into the canyon, and how the light was just coming in through the crevice at the top. So for my third composition of the slot canyon, which you're going to see in just a little bit, I found this really cool orange rock alcove where apparently the water would pool and has just made this really wide area. I love the way that the strata separated across the wall and kind of leads your eye from left to right through it. It's just something that I haven't seen as a photograph from a slot canyon. I really liked it, so I had to take it. So for my final composition in a slot canyon, we had enough wind up top that the sand was actually blowing into the canyon. It's not your stereotypical sand fall in a canyon. That's usually done by taking scoops of sand from the floor and throwing them up on the walls and letting them drift down. This is an actual depiction of what it looks like when sand is falling inside the canyon. You get these specks across the image. It's just kind of cool. So after we'd finished up at the Slot Canyon, we all loaded up into a safari style vehicle. It's basically an F-250 or 350 with benches on the back. And Jared drove us down to this cool private land overlook of Horseshoe Bend. I actually prefer this composition, shooting towards Horseshoe Bend, over the Park Service land area. It's quieter, there are not so many crowds. Here again, it's a limited group, it's private land, so it's controlled. But so far, of my shots of Horseshoe Bend, this is my favorite of just the Bend. My absolute favorite, of course, is Romance at Horseshoe Bend, which I wrote about in a blog article from a different trip, which I'll link down below. I'm gonna warn you, this next little bit is a little bit windy. I tried to do some to-camera stuff while out there, but the wind just wasn't having it. In fact, I'm gonna leave the audio on so you can hear how windy it was and why I didn't get right up to the edge there at Horseshoe Bend. After I shot that composition, the group meandered around the area a little bit looking for other things to shoot and talk about, and didn't find much of anything. There was some cool stuff. We headed back to the safari, everybody loaded up, and we headed back to Page. I'm actually going to leave you here. Jared did this really cool thing at the end of the tour, and I asked for permission, and he said go ahead and use it. So he's going to actually exit us with a little song that he did. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet done so, please hit that subscribe button, ding the bell for future notifications, and we will see you next time at Wupatki National Monument.
You're more welcome to film and record my windblown look if you like. Hey. Everywhere. Oh,